Yeah, good morning all. So let's start this session. Today is going to be the first class, and I hope you have connected the demo session. But let me just give you an overview of the demo just for 2 to 3 minutes so that if someone missed, they have some understanding. And from today, you are going to have the regular classes like 10:30 a.m., 10:30 to 11:30. So just to start with the session, on the demo session we have seen what is CRM, and I have provided the basic understanding of what is customer relationship management. So after the customer relationship management, if you understand what is customer relationship management, then the Salesforce come into the picture. So what are the Salesforce, what are the customer relationship management available in the market? That's we have discussed on the day, like Salesforce CRM, SAP CRM, Dynamics, Oracle, HubSpot, Zoho. Different companies are providing the CRM applications there. So based upon, as we have like many in the market, why to choose the Salesforce CRM, we have discussed on that day. Why? Because it is like market leader. So we are going to have the good number of opportunities if you are going with the Salesforce CRM. As many projects are developing nowadays with the Salesforce CRM, so we have more number of job opportunities on the Salesforce CRM. And what are the different types of benefits by using the Salesforce CRM that I have explained? Like as it is like cloud-based and it allows to extend your application by doing some customization with the text code and all. And it will have the full visibility, like 360 degrees visibility we have on the customer aspect, like customer 360 degrees, we can have activities for each and every customer. And it supports the integration with the different platforms. That is like most good benefits from the Salesforce CRM. And it is not from the scratch. I said 60% application already available. Just you need to like plug and play scenario where you can have sales, service, and different clouds we have. So you can start using your existing application in the system there. And coming to the service, it is like SaaS, IaaS, and PaaS. That means like what are the services provided by the Salesforce? Product, software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. These are the services provided by the Salesforce. That means you don't need to bother about these services. I mean to say, just for your knowledge, I mean to say, like once the Salesforce, you have purchased the license of Salesforce. These are the services provided by the Salesforce CRM, right? So that means software as a service in the sense it is providing some cloud applications like sales, service, marketing, and all. This is nothing but the software which is providing as a service. Infrastructure is nothing but you need to your company, which company, like whatever the company using the Salesforce, then no need to maintain the different networks or different networking engineers, servers, and all. That will taken care by the Salesforce here. And coming to this platform as a service, to develop something to customize the existing application, to extend the existing application, we can have the platform as a service. For example, it is like force.com where you are doing some customizations there. And to start with this application, we need to understand what are the different editions provided by the Salesforce CRM, right? Unlimited, professional, enterprise, group edition, developer. These are the different editions we have. I mean to say, based upon the requirement of your company or the organization who is going to start with Salesforce CRM, based upon the number of users and based upon the transactions they are performing, they will use the different edition. This is simple, the same like Windows operating system, which you are using with the different edition, like home, professional, in that way, right? The same way we have different editions for the Salesforce there. And each and every edition has the different licenses. That's we are going to see in the coming classes. And regarding the content, we have explained like admin development and lightning and integrations we are going to cover here. This is just for your understanding. That's what we have discussed in the demo session. And today it is going to be the new session there. So to start with something, to start with Salesforce, if you want to learn the Salesforce, as I said, you should have some interface, right? So you should understand the interface of how the application looks like. And in the coming classes, as I said, you don't need to install the software. Then how to start to practice and how to learn the things and how to, where I need to see the UI part and that. For that, as I said, you need to have some licensing there. For to learn purpose or to explore the Salesforce CRM, it is this developer edition will work like a trial account. This will work as a trial account. So if you want to start with Salesforce account, so today, like I will explain you, I will create one trial account now. so that we can start learning the concepts once logging into the system. I mean, say once logging into the Salesforce account. So end of the day, after the class, I would request you people also to create a Salesforce account so that whatever the concepts which we are trying to learn here, the same concept we are going to implement one project from second or fourth day, so that you need to establish, you need to create the account on your name, and you need to start building the project, so that by end of the session you should be able to complete full-fledged project that which gives you the hands-on experience as well. Right now, let's see how to create a developer edition here. Right, to create a developer edition, you need to use the developer dot. Just give me a second. Sorry, it's like office door. Sorry. Coming to this developer edition, to start with this developer edition. So there is like developer dot developer dot salesforce.com/sign. So just follow my steps. Why? Because if you are, you can also directly go to the. Let me take the new notepad. Here, the agenda today we are going to see how to create an org, create a Salesforce, right? For that, you need to use the URL like developer.salesforce.com/signup. You can also navigate directly to the Salesforce account and you can create an account there. But it will automatically, the trial period will expire within 45 days. So don't go with the other processes, even though there is different process to create a trial account, but try to go the same steps which I am trying to use the URL here. So if you are going with this type of process, that means it will the trial account will not expire. I mean to say there is no it lasts to more than 1 year. So please follow the same steps. So please follow the same steps to have the trial account there. The first name. So try to create some account here. Creation of the Salesforce account is pretty much easy as you create a Gmail account. As much easy that is like how to create a Gmail account. In the same way, you can also create the Salesforce account, right? So just let me give you an account here, like Yaksha IT and 34. I will take some Yaksha IT. Let's say Yaksha IT is my name here, and email address. For this email address, you need to provide your Gmail account, right? That's why I'm using my email ID, which I created for this class. Role as a here, if you see the role, I will take it as administrator, right? You can also go with the developer, but take the role as administrator so that you can have full functionality in the account. What is the company name? My company name is like Yaksha IT Solutions. I can use some company name here, and country or origin. You can go with the India, and state Telangana. Postal code, I will go with some random number here. I mean to say the pin code. Username. So the username will be XIT34, right? I will use the same username here. XIT34 is my username @it.com. Just you need to provide some username in terms of email format. Here it.com, I don't have any domain. Just I'm making use of this it.com as my domain name. So that whenever I'm trying to log into my Salesforce, it will take like it.com. I need to log in xit34@it.com. This is going to be your username. Username is like sort of email format, but not like xit34. Remember this thing. Click on I agree. Let me cross check the email. Save big with coupon. Save big with coupon. Yeah. So just is the email. Click on this. Sign me up. So creating an Salesforce account is like single window where you can create by providing your name and all. Just role you select as administrator, but username just provide it.com or whatever, like @suresh.com, whatever the name you can go with it. You don't need to have some particular domain. So the account will be created with this particular the domain there. So once this is done, almost there, please check your email to verify your account. So you will get an email to the email which you provided. So please provide the correct email there. Whenever in the regular process, like while you are doing something, you are activating some processes, or if you are trying some email alerts, if you are triggering some email alerts and all, it will send you an email to this particular email. Whatever the email you are going to provide, that will share this to this particular email address. So please give the email which is correct one. So here I could see there is no inbox. So if it is the first time, try to check in the spam as well. Try to check the spam once. Sometimes it will receive in the spam as well. So try to check in the spam and email as well. So mostly it will take 1 to 2 minutes hardly. To verify the account, as you know, we need to verify the email which received, right? Just I'm waiting for the email here. So why this developer console is required? As it is taking time, let's wait for it. Meanwhile, let me give some introduction here again. Coming to this Salesforce account, once you created this developer console, I mean to say there is like some developer console is also provided. How this developer console and which we are going to see here, the Salesforce account which you are trying to create, this is not only for the admin part. I mean to say if you are trying to implement some Apex code, it will provide some developer console as well. The developer console is nothing but where we have to implement some customization, right? Like Apex classes and triggering of Apexes and all that we can have in the developer console as well. That everything we will get. So that means no need of installing any software after creating this account. In this particular account itself, you can have all type of logic there. You can use the, I mean to say, you can develop the functionality of the, you can use make use of the all the applications there. So usually it takes 2 to 3 minutes. It is taking time. Just I stopped my screenshot. Just give me a second. Usually this much time it won't take. Okay, okay. This Gmail storage is 100% full. That is the reason I'm not getting the email maybe. Hmm. Okay. So it is like storage issue. I mean to say the email which I'm not receiving because of 100% storage. So, so okay, let it be. Meanwhile, let me discuss the topic here. And coming to this thing, coming to the once the developer.salesforce.com sign up you have used, it will send you one verification email there. You know, right? Simple. After you clicking on that verify email, it will create an account. So after creating an account, Once you would like to log into any of the application, if you want to log into the Salesforce, then you need to use the login.salesforce.com. So you need to use this URL when you are trying to log into the system. So you may ask, I have created an account, and with the username, like after this thing, we have created some username, right? Yaksha IT @it.com, I guess. IT.com, right? Yaksha IT32 @it34, I don't know. So you need to use your username and password. So this password, for this, you will get again the email there. You need to reset the password. And here the IT domain is nothing but, now let's say if you're placed into some company like Infosys, TCS, or whatever, you have some different projects. Based upon your client, you have the different projects, right? Client has one domain. So that means whenever you are using the login.salesforce.com, you no need to remember your organization URL. That means you are working in TCS company and so on, so oil and industry project. For that oil and industry project, there is some URL there, URL, right, for accessing their account there. So you no need to remember the URL. Simply you can type with the login.salesforce.com, and with their username, it will automatically take you to your particular organization URL. How this is happening in the sense, again, as I said, once the account is created, this is going to be a unique globally, not only for your project, whatever the domain you are choosing, this is going to be like unique, right? This is going to be like unique in the sense, with the username, the Salesforce will automatically take you to the appropriate uh, account page in the sense, the Salesforce account. Now, if you are going out of your organization, let's say if you are now currently you are working in the Infosys to one project, and if you are moving from the Infosys, they will deactivate your user account, but they can't delete. That means you need to remember, once we create an user in the Salesforce, we can't delete the user in the Salesforce account. That we need to understand here. Actually, my plan got disturbed here. I mean to say, I thought to have some in the trial. Oh yeah, I got here. So you will see developer.salesforce. Welcome to Salesforce, verify your account. Previously, it is like storage issue. Now I could see welcome to Salesforce. And this is the mail, how you will get developer.salesforce, verify your account. This is going to be my organization URL, right? Yaksha IT Solutions 34 dev ed. And this is my Yaksha IT 34 @it.com is my user. Click on this verify account. Here it is asking you to create a new password. Let me create some password here. You need to follow these steps. You need to use the developer.salesforce.com/sign up there. And you can use some random here. I mean to say security question and all. Simply like creating an Gmail account as much as simple. Once you create it, this is the first screen which you are going to see in the Salesforce. Right? So this is the account, the Salesforce. This is like logo, Salesforce Cloud, and there is like setup. I will explain you each and everything here. But before to it, creating a Salesforce account is something where you need to use this particular, please use this URL only. If you're going with another way, you may not able to have that account for a long time. Make use of developer.salesforce.com. Once this is done, you will receive an email. Then please verify account. It will ask to create a password there. Create a password as per the policies there. I mean to say characters and all. Then after that, let me log out. This time, this is my URL, right? You no need to remember this URL. This is what actually I mean to say. You no need to remember this URL every time to log into your account. Simply instead of it, you can use this login.salesforce.com. Now I have created a password and all. Let me sign out and try to log into my system. Login.salesforce.com is the URL, and username will be Yaksha IT 34@it.com is my URL, and password which I created. And here I am using login.salesforce.com. So it will directly take you to your Salesforce account page. That means whichever the project you are using, you are working, whichever the you are working, So based upon your username and password, it will directly take you to your account page. That means whatever even though if I'm using Yaksha IT 34@it.com, that username will not be used by any organization. Now, this is the interface, how it looks like. Before understanding the setup page, this setup is something where if you want to configure the system, if you want to customize the system, or if you want to add any configurations or customization, again, what is configuration, what is customization? Configuration is nothing but you are making use of the existing system and making some uh, configuration part, like creating users, creating security. This all comes under configuration part. And what is customization? Customization is nothing but where you are trying to implement a new functionality there. That is called customization. Of course, we are going to see in depth in coming days, but for now, just try to understand the terminology here. Right? What is configuration and what is customization? So here, whatever the configurations or customizations you are trying to perform, that everything we are going to do in the setup page. This is not visible to the front-end user who is using your application. This is for the developers who is going to configure or make some changes to the existing system, right? And let me explain you the user interface base. Like, let me introduce the application here. As I said, there is different applications available like sales and service. Here I am searching for sales there. Just I am making use of sales application to demonstrate and to make you to introduce you the Salesforce account here. Once I have created the trial account, now you know how to create a trial account, right? This is how the application looks like. Here the sales is nothing but the application name, and this is the logo where if you want to add your logo, then you can add your logo. Currently it is like Salesforce logo, as you know. You can create your own logos here. This is nothing but the app launcher. This we will call it as app launcher. Here the terminology is important. From the first class, try to focus on the terminology. Why? Because if you are going to some company, the terminology which you are using will makes good impression on you. I mean to say, if you are bothering about to find the navigations or using the terms, will caught you up. So try to understand the terminology and try to use the same terminology which I am trying to stress here. This is like app launcher. App launcher will provide you the list of applications available in your Salesforce account. If you want to navigate to some other application like marketing, community, service, and all, you can search the applications here, and it will show you the list of applications available in the Salesforce account. And while clicking on this view all, it will show you the new window which provide you all the available uh, applications available here. Here again, what is application and what is cloud? Both are same. The cloud in Salesforce, we will call it as Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. This will be called as Sales Application as well, Sales Business Application, Sales Application, or Sales Cloud. Everything is fine, right? In the Salesforce, from the olden days, we are just calling it as Sales Cloud or Sales Application. Everything is fine, no mistake in that. And you know what is App Launcher and what is logo now? Let's discuss like what all this comes under. This we will call it as tabs. You know what is tab, right? For the tabs, we have some items in the tab. If you want to go with different items, then you can click on the tab. And what actually this opportunities, leads, task, and all. This we will call it as objects. What is objects? Let me, of course, you are from the background of at least BTech or BSc computers, I guess. So you have the knowledge, at least basic knowledge on the SQL server, right? I mean to say just a database. So let me compare with the database here. In the database, like SQL server and all, what we will call we will call it as table, right? We will call it as table. In Salesforce here, we will call it as object. You should be referring here as object, but not the table. The terminology is important. That's what I'm stressing here. So in the database, we are calling it as table. What is table? Table is nothing but it's a combination of, it's a collection of different columns, which consists of the data, right? What is columns again? Columns is nothing but, now let's say account is one of the table. In the account number, account name, address, city, this all comes under columns, right? In the database, we will call it as columns. Here in the Salesforce, we will call it as fields. We will call it as fields. And here the records, the data we will call it as records. Here you can call it as rows or records, everything is fine. Rows or records. This is the terminology you are going to refer in the Salesforce CRM. We should not call it as table. We should call it as object. And here it is like columns. Here it is like fields. Rows or records. Everything is fine. These accounts, contacts, campaigns, and these are nothing but objects in the Salesforce CRM. Now you know what is object. Object is nothing but the table where we are maintaining the data. Now let's click on this account. If you want to access the records, access the details from the accounts object, then here you could see all the list of records or the rows available in this object account. So this is how the system maintains. By in the backend, we will create some objects there. Once the object is created, we can add some fields to the object. Once it is added, you can collect the data from the objects. This is basic understanding for the objects then. And the objects, which is now, if you observe, we have created a Salesforce account and we have not done anything. But how you are able to see all this data and all these objects? That's what, as I said, 60% of the application already available. Just you need to make use of it, like plug and play option. How this is done in the sense, the research team, Salesforce has some research team. This research team will create a system in such a way that how the CRM applications will be used by different companies like oil and industry, automobiles, and banking sector, manufacturing, utilities. Whatever the project you are trying to develop, every project by end goal is to have some marketing so that they will generate some leads there. After generating the leads, and they will go some sales process there. That's what I'm explaining on the day. They should have some marketing technique so that they will get some leads. Once the lead is done, it will create some sales. They will do some sale. After that, they need to provide the service, right? This is like basic model who is looking for the customer relationship management applications. So in view of that, the Salesforce research and development team developed an application in such a way that with different sales, service, and market, whatever the operations we are maintaining in the sales, everything will carried in this cloud, like in this business application. The accounts and contacts is nothing but if you are like some of the company like Microsoft or Salesforce, and some of the company like Microsoft would like to purchase your product. Then in this account, you will maintain the data of Microsoft and who is the contact from this Microsoft. You will maintain the information of contacts here. The table anyhow in the database, you know why to create the tables, to maintain the data, to have the data, right? That's the same process, the same thing which we are trying to design here, right? Accounts and contacts, these are some of the objects. This is how you are going to create. If you want to add new functionality, then that's how you are going to create a table. And again, as I mentioned, creating a table in the sense, you no need to have the knowledge on SQL commands. You know how to create a table by using the with the syntax, right? Create table name, insert into update. We have some commands, DML commands. But here you no need to bother about that knowledge. Even though if you don't know about the SQL syntax, here with your mouse clicks, you can create a tables, or you can create an objects. You need to use the terminology as object here. You can create objects, or you can create different fields here. So without having the knowledge on DML commands, you can also create by using the mouse click. That means like UI based, you can create an objects but with the UI based. This is this we will call it as tabs, and the tabs in these tabs we will maintain some tables, right? This, like sales is like application name and app launcher. And this talks about view profile as you have for the Gmail and all. It is like which explains you what is your account and what is your organization URL and all. Here you could see switch to Classic, Salesforce Classic, what actually this means. Switch to Salesforce Classic in the sense, before 2 years back, all the Salesforce application is in Classic version. Now, which you are seeing, it is like Lightning Web. This is like modern applications like Lightning Web Components. With the concept of Lightning Web Components, the application is built in Lightning concept. Whereas before LWC, the applications is developed in Classic way. What is the difference between the Classic and LWC? The application which you are seeing here is like which is in Lightning. Just let me navigate to the Classic so that you can understand how the look and feel of the Classic version there. You can see this is how it looks like. The basic thing here is just look and user interface got changed. The page and everything is different. The way you are seeing with the lightning page, it is something different than the classic. Here again, it shows like switch to lightning experience. If you click on it, it will navigate to the lightning experience there. So what is this classic and lightning experience? As I said, in the olden days, we have the classic. Why this lightning is introduced in the sense to have good user appearance, good user interface, and it is like lightweight pages. So the page loading time is reduced and the performance got increased. Right? The performance got increased and the look and feel got changed. So to improvise the product, the Salesforce team keeps on updating their product. In that process, they have introduced this lightning concept, which to make user friendly, the total application should be like user friendly, easy to navigate the items, and lightweight pages and no performance issues while loading the page. To achieve this thing, they have introduced this lightning thing. In the coming classes, we are going to discuss in the content lightning web components and all right. There you will get more knowledge. I mean to say, you can understand more functionality, how we can develop this lightning web components and all. Just for now, just to make you understand, in the previous days, we have the classic. Now you are using the lightning experience applications, right? To switch back to the classic, this is the way. But if you are into any company, by today, like no companies are using the classic. It's almost 98, I could say 99 point so and so as well. But maybe the old application which is developed and maybe they are using, but Salesforce CRM suggested and recommended to all the customers to use the experience lightning experience only. So if you're going to raise any product issues related issues to the Salesforce on Classic, the Salesforce will not going to take up. Why? Because it's already deprecated. I mean to say deprecated in the sense no more support for the Classic as well. Whatever the applications you are going to create in the future or currently, it should be with the lightning experience only, right? That is about the Salesforce Classic and experience there. What is this notification you could see? Notification is nothing but where you could see the if there is any notified, if there is any new functionality is introduced. Or this is like new guidance center learning resources. So you could see if any notification sent by the Salesforce, you will receive here not only the notification sent by the Salesforce. In the coming classes, we are going to see some automation process where let's say whenever the lead is created in the system, it should be notified with one email to so and so sales representative. At the time, once the sales representative log into the system, there he will get some notification here in the top. This is simple, like what you know, the notification and all. In the Android or iOS, if you are using any application, if there is any notification, it will show some notification, right? The same way, this notification will work for the when whoever the user logs in here. If he receives any email or any task assigned to that user, that can be automatically system will take care to notify here. And with the automation process, you can also push some notification to the user here so that they can see the notifications here. And this is gearbox icon or the settings icon, which you could see. This is like shortcut or the navigation thing where if you want to develop or if you want to customize or configure the existing system, you need to be in the setup page, right? This is like setup there. If you are clicking on the setup, it will take you to this. It will open the setup page. This is the setup page. Once you created an account, you can see the setup, right? This is the page where you are trying to set up something. This in the coming classes, whatever we are doing everything we will perform in this setup page. A lot of things we need to understand here. So let me explain you the step-by-step thing as per the schedule and as per the content. So this is nothing but the setup page where if you want to set up the system or if you want to customize or configure the system, this is the page you are going to start. So if you want to make some changes to the front end, you should be doing on the setup page only, right? And here you could see service setup. What is this service setup? Setup is for general and service setup in the sense like sales, we have like service as well, right? For the service, there is something different setup configurations we have where it talks about entitlements and SLAs and all. So it has the Salesforce CRM provided different setup environment for the service. And for all the remaining applications, we can use you can use the setup only. This is if you are configuring something related to the service sector, the service, for the service, they have different options they need to have. So for that email, setting up the emails or email communications or whatever, for the service, you can different setup is provided by the Salesforce here. And developer console, as I said, if you want to implement some code perspective, this is like developer console where you are going to write the Apex code or not in this particular window. You can use this developer window to have your code implementation then. Right, this is going to be have the Apex thing which you are going to implement. This we are going to discuss at the development time. You can use this developer console. That means you no need to install any software to write the code as well. And here the question mark. Let's say if you are facing any issues with the Salesforce directly with the product, so you can have some help here. That means there is some guidance provided, some of the documents available. But if the documents is not fixing your issue, then if you want to raise a ticket to the Salesforce, you can make use of get support here. So you can raise a ticket by raising it. That means like you can get a support by raising a ticket from this particular window. This is like help and training, which is from the Dynamics, which is from the Salesforce. You can dynamically, I mean to say, you can check you can take the help, you can check the repositories available here. Still, after seeing the repositories is nothing but with the documents, available documents there. Even though with the available documents, if it is not fixing your issue, you can simply raise a ticket to the Salesforce account there. It will redirect to a URL where you can raise a ticket there. So after raising a ticket, the Salesforce team will assist you to fix the issue. This is how the help sector will use. And guidance center again, if you want to have any guidance, like I mean to say self-learning, if you want to set up accounts, and this is like starting, you are using the Salesforce account, right? This is like self-learning thing. If you want to set up something, it will provide some guidance center where has some documents maintained here. You can make use of these documents and you can go through the documents like which is provided by the Salesforce to understand how this Salesforce works on that. This plus button is nothing but this will call it as global actions. What is global actions? Global actions is nothing but, now let's say you are in this account and you are working some account record. You are working on some account record, and you don't want to navigate to other pages, and quickly you want to create some contact if you want to create any case or something, right? Without navigating from here, you can directly make use of these global actions. Here you could see if you want to create a task to your engineer or your marketing sales representative, you can new task. That means in the same page, you are able to create a new task from here. Global action is nothing but from the same page, you can create some new records, or you can update, or you can create new tasks to on the other. That means you can work on the another objects. So that is like global action. This is like basic out of the box, some of the global actions available. If you want to create new global action, that also it is possible, right? This is the look and interface of the UI based user interface, how the application looks like. You can navigate to any application there, like sales or service or anything. The look and feel, everything is like same. This is the user interface. And let me go to the setup here. Now let's say here the sales for one of the company like Audi car, right? One of the company, let's take an example of Audi car, decided to go with the CRM, customer relationship management, and they have chosen the Salesforce CRM as an account. Once the Salesforce CRM is chosen, they have how to create how to create an account. They have created an account, right? Once they created it, it generates some URL based upon the details you have provided. Here in the URL, if you observe the URL here, you have taken the developer edition, dev edition dot develop dot lightning dot flips, right? This is how this automatically taken care, and the company name which you provided, right? Based upon it, it will take the URL organization URL. Why it is 34? Why? Because based upon the availability of the domain, it will take. As per the previous batches, I have created different organizations with the same name, so it takes me to the 34. Otherwise, if it is like audi.lightning.post.com, in that way, it will generate an organization URL. Once this is done, you make use of this login.salesforce, and with your username and password, you have done. So what would be the next action once you create an account, right? The next action would be you need to create an user, right? You need to create an user in your Salesforce. Now, so Auditor purchased the license, Salesforce license, and to make their users to work, to make their employees to work on the Salesforce software, they need to create the users, right? Now let's see how to create an user in the system. To start with something, as I said, how to start with setup. Here, the creating an user comes into configuration. The terminology here, configuration and customization. This is generic. I mean to say this is not related to the Salesforce. I mean to say it's not only for the Salesforce. This is like general terminology. Whatever the CRM applications you are taking, there will be configurations and customization. What is the experience you have in the configuration? What is the experience you have in the customization? These type of questions may come from the interview. So at the time, you should understand at least the basic knowledge of configuration is nothing but creation of users, creation of security, implementing the security concept. This all are comes under configuration. Customization is nothing but creating of tables, or here we will call it as objects, creating of objects, and adding some development code. This all comes under customization there. Now, to add an user, adding an user is nothing but the configuration, as I said. Now, let's see how to add the user. Now, we have created an account. So for now, while creating, I have created an user. Yaksha IT 34 is my user. So just I want to create another user in the system. And to do that, what is the process? As I said, whatever the settings you are applying, this is only the UI part, user interface, where you can use the application. But if you want to customize or configure, you need to navigate to the setup, right? Click on this setup. This is the setup page, right? Here we have seen all these things throughout the software or the application. You could see all these items and this as well. And the setup is nothing but the name of the application which you are in, right? And here you could see extra thing, home and object manager, and this app launcher. You know what is this home? Home is again the home screen of this setup. And what is this object manager? Object manager is nothing but object is nothing but the table, as I said, but here you should use the term as object only. Object manager, which is nothing but which will show all the list of objects available in the Salesforce. Let's click on this object manager before creating a user. Here you could see there is lot of list of objects. We could see what actually all these things comes under. You could see it's like 153 plus items, so many objects. That's what, as I said, 60% of the application already available. How you are able to see this business application like sales, service, and different application we could see from the app launcher, right? To have some logic with this application, the database already created, and database has some objects. These are the list of objects available in the database. As simple as that. Object manager is the place where you are going to work on the objects available in the system. Here you could see type as standard object. Standard object is nothing but the object which is created by the Salesforce itself. Right? Getting my point? The type of the object is standard object in the sense this objects which is come from the Salesforce. And there is another type. This is a custom object which you are going to see in the coming classes. Custom object, if you are going to create a new object, then it's like custom object. So for this creation of this object, as I said, there is no required for any SQL command, DML commands is not required. You can create with your mouse clicks. And this object manager is a place where we are managing all these particular objects available in the database, right? This is object manager and you know the home and setup and all. Now let's see the task here to create after creating an account, we are going to create a user here. What is this user and how to create an user? And here you could see the quick find. Quick find is something which you can search for the details, which it allows you to search the items. Let's say if you're working with some component on the functionality, instead of going and searching for this thing, you can directly search here, right? You could see the users here, or you can also type here. It is like quick find, where if you want to do something, you can search here so that it will take you to that page, that option there. Users, here under users, you could see users. This users will provide you the list of users available in the system. Now, let's say I have created a Salesforce trial account. That means I have created Yaksha IT 34. Right? This is the user which I created. And remaining, there is 3 users. Whenever you are going to create a Salesforce account, these are some of the users will automatically created by the system. These users are like system users. Could say chatter, integration, and security. Why this required? This is like system-based users, which will use for the system functionality. So you should not delete these users available, which is created by the system, right? And this is my user. Let me open the existing user before creating a new user there. Let's see what actually the details we have with this user here. And name of the user, alias and all, the email which I have provided, and username which I am using, and nickname and all, my company information. The time zone which I selected as Indian Standard Time Zone, IST, I have selected as India, so it automatically picked the GMT plus 5:30 like Indian Standard Time. And I selected like English, and this provides you all the information about my user. And here you could see the three which is important here: role, user license, and profile. What is this role? Role is nothing but, let's say if you are into any of the company, there will be some roles, right? Role is nothing but sort of designation: consultant, senior consultant, software engineer, senior software engineer, business analyst, architect. So here in the Salesforce CRM also we can have some roles. You can also create new roles, and Salesforce CRM also will provide some roles, right? And coming to this user license, based upon the editions you have purchased, it will give some list of licenses there. You can assign one license to the user, and you can only assign one license to the user, right? And profile, the profile is something different compared to the role. Profile is nothing but, here this role and profile is very much important. Whatever the security concepts which we are going to learn, each and every security concept going to implement by using this role and profile, right? For the role, I have provided an example like designation and all. Then what is profile? Profile is something, let's say in olden days, if you are using Nokia sort of mobiles, there we have different profiles. For each profile, we can set different color, different ringtone and all, right? If you remember, like in the olden days, we have Nokia mobile, like basic black and white mobiles. We can create multiple profiles there. If you select one sort of profile, you can make the mobile as silent, and the theme is different, and everything is different. And with the different profile, you can have some more ringtone and some more color theme and all, right? The font and all. So that means you can maintain different profiles there. Why? Because if you are using that profile, all the settings which you apply to the mobile will be based on that profile settings. Whatever you are configuring on that particular profile, that will applicable, right? In the same way, in the Salesforce CRM, we will create different profiles. For each and every profile, we are going to have some configuration there. What type of configuration? Now, let's say we have different objects like account, contact, and all. For the accounts who are dealing with more than $10 million per year, those accounts should be visible only to the vice president of sales. Let's take that user story. Let's assume that scenario. And the consultant, there is like one more one more user in your organization who deals with like sales representative. This sales representative should not have visibility on the revenue matters, right? At that time, you can create some security in such a way that you can create some profiles. In these profiles, you are going to configure what is the visibility we should provide to so and so profile. Just for your basic understanding, I will explain you, like I will create different profiles. At that time you can understand, but just before to it, this is a first class. You should have some basic knowledge how the users and all they are maintaining here. Here we will create a different profiles. Based upon the profile, we will configure the profiles to provide some access to the different objects here. That means different data on the objects. You are providing permissions on the objects is nothing but providing access to the data, right? So we'll create some profiles here from high to low. So based upon the user designation or based upon the user role, I'm going to assign some different profiles to the user. That's how I will design the system and I will create an user. That's how you are going to implement the security concept in Salesforce CRM. Right? That means you can have only, designation, only one designation in the system, in the company, right? The same way, we can have only one profile to the user. We can't assign two profiles to a single user. It is like only one profile to the single user, right? And active, once the user is active, this will be active. And if it is like marketing user or sales user, you can directly go with here. So that automatically appropriate profile will be selected there. And remaining, the main thing which you need to remember here, if you want to receive some email alerts, then tick mark and the basic, what are the permissions you are going to provide, this you can do. On start of the day, like 6 a.m. and end of the day, 11 p.m., you can set this as well. User level setting also you can do. And last login, when this is last login and last password change, these are the information about the users. This is just to see how the exit for the existing user, which is created by the system. While creating a developer account, I have selected as an administrator, right? So that is the reason it took me to the administrator. This is the fields which you need to be checking while creating a new user. Now we have seen the existing user. Let's to create a new user. Let me click on this users and try to create a new window, new user. Here, as I mentioned, role. Here it shows the list of roles provided by the Salesforce CRM. What is this list of roles? CEO, CFO, sales team and marketing team and SVP like customer service, human resources, sales, and these are the different roles provided by the Salesforce CRM. So when you are adding some user to the account, you should provide the role. So if your organization is not compatible with this type of roles, then you can also create new roles there. That's up to you, right? You can also create new role. Now, let's say if you are trying for some software industry, you can go with consultant, senior consultant, technical lead, and that way. That you can create the role as well. That's as per your understanding as how you are configuring the system. You can also create new one. Okay? And you need to provide the user details and role as well. And user license, you could see there is different licenses we have. How these licenses will differ based upon the additions, it will provide the license. Now here, while creating the user, we should use the Salesforce. Why? Because here we are trying to learn something in the this account where you are going to develop some application. For that, you should be having the Salesforce only. Just to make you understand, if you want to have the force.com is one of the platform which is used to have some development, right? So if you want to use that thing, you should have the force.com license as well. And Salesforce integration, if you are working with the integration part, they will provide the Salesforce integration user there, right? This is how we get the Salesforce we have, but in this developer edition, it will provide only 2 Salesforce licenses. If you want to provide, now I have only 2 Salesforce licenses. Once the Salesforce license I have provided to this user, if I'm going to create a new user here, 1 license occupied by me, Yaksha IT 34. If I create another user, the 2 licenses will be cleared. I can't create a new user with the same license. You can create another license. But to learn something, I will go with the Salesforce only. And profile, as I said, we have different profiles available here. Just for your understanding, read only in the sense, the user to the user which I'm going to provide this read only in the sense, he can only read the data, but he can't edit, he can't delete the data. That's how it will work. I will explain you in detail while discussing the profiles. Right? This is the red mark is like required, where you need to use this required fields. We have to create, it's like mandatory fields. Required is nothing but mandatory fields. Red mark is mandatory fields. Without adding the required, you can't go and create. So it's like almost 11:26. So I can't like it would be like middle of the class if I start creating the user to explain the other concepts. In the tomorrow's class, I'm going to create an user and I will show you how to set up the company information and the storage information and all, and then we can start building the application, or we start learning the different concepts like what is data model and all, and then we can start building the application from the 3rd or 4th class. So by tomorrow, the task would be like, please try to create a developer account. I mean to tell Salesforce account, like it is like trial account. To create a trial account, as I said, please use this URL developer.salesforce.com/sign up and try to create an account there. You can give your own name, like I have given Yaksha IT Solution. You can give your name as well. That's fine. And then just try to explore the details which I have explained here, the navigation and all, what actually these stars and all. Just try to explore the thing so that you can familiarize with the application there. So then in the tomorrow's class, I will explain the company information and setup. From there, whatever the operation or whatever the thing I am performing in the class, that is going to be your task, right? So that you can get some hands-on experience. By end of the class, you are going to have the full knowledge on the Salesforce with the with the, I mean to say, with the hands-on experience as well. Yeah, that's it from my end. Please let me know if you have any questions on today's class or the previous demonstration, or any questions, please let me know. Under this meeting recording will be uploaded in the YouTube, and my admin team will share you the link within a couple of hours in the same WhatsApp group. And if you have any questions, you can also please feel free to ping in that WhatsApp group. Maybe if I am occupied with my office calls and all, at least within 2 hours, I will respond you to your question if you are posting in the WhatsApp. Please expect a delay at least 2 hours. Otherwise, if I am free, I can respond at that time. But uh, maybe maximum it takes 2 hours if I'm busy occupied with other calls. Yeah, that's it from my end. If it is like now it's like open platform, you can have any you can ask any questions, or you can also ping in the Zoom chat here. Okay, I will take the silence as no questions and will wind up the session for today. In the tomorrow session, we'll discuss about the data types and company information and all. Thank you all. Have a good day.